everybody, Bernie Wall here. For those of you that haven't met me before, I'm an IELTS teacher trainer. I've been working with IELTS students for over 25 years, mostly at band 7 and 8. And I work especially with students who've taken the exam a few times and haven't quite got what they require. So in today's video, I want to talk about the fear of IELTS. And I had a message recently from a student who was stuck in her IELTS. She'd taken the exam quite a few times and not got what she wanted. And her message was simply, I'm too scared to study anymore. And obviously she'd reached a point where she just didn't know what to do and didn't know how to move forward. And so I wanted just to talk a little bit about that today, because there may be some of you that are also a bit scared of opening your books again and going down that route again. And it's something that often happens to people. It's not the end of the world, and it can be overcome if you approach it in the right way. So let's have a look at some suggestions for how to get yourself out of this position. So basically, if you're feeling too scared to practice or to even think about IELTS, this will have come from some disappointment, perhaps taking the exam a few times and not getting it, and you lose confidence. And people who take lots and lots of exams often lose a lot of confidence. But it's quite possible to become confident again if you do this in a fairly gentle way. So it does actually, it does actually appear for some people. Some people, it's almost like a phobia. They don't even want to open the book or the books. And so I think we have to accept that, for some people, they are in quite a difficult situation. Sometimes it's due to the fact that they are fearful of all exams. And some people do get very, very nervous in any exam, no matter what. And that can often be born out of not being absolutely ready for it. And I think this is very true of a lot of IELTS students, that they go into the exam and they're not 100% ready for the band that they want. And often it's better to give yourself enough time so that when you go into that exam, you know you can get the score that you're looking for and you're not just crossing your fingers. This can cause a lot of stress to people. Like any exam situation can be stressful. You can't concentrate, you get panicked. I know lots of people who panic the minute they look at IELTS reading, for example. That seems to be quite a common phobia. But it's counterproductive, and I know you all know this. The more stressed you are, the less able you are to do things. So it is counterproductive, it stops you, but you can overcome it. So what should you do if you feel like this? Well, it may be that you need to take a little break. So think about the situation very clearly. What band do you need? Because quite often people will say, I want band 8 or I want band 9. But actually, that's their desire. But they are only being asked for maybe band 7 or even 6.5. Now, I understand that you want to get a high score and you want to be proud of yourself. But if you are in this situation where you're fearful, what is the minimum that you need? And when do you need to have it? So have you got enough time? If you haven't got enough time, can you postpone it? Is it possible? If you can't postpone it, then you have to be realistic about whether you're going to get it or not. Or maybe you work one-on-one with a teacher who will help you get there faster. Bear in mind, band 7 and 8 is not easy. I mean, the percentage of students who get these bands is quite small in comparison with those who get 6 and 6.5. You need good skills. You need time to prepare properly. You need regular practice. And if you haven't got the opportunity to do this, then you maybe should not be looking at the exam just yet. Firstly, start with the things you can manage in this positive action. So if you've only got half an hour a day, then just spend half an hour a day and build up your confidence. So if that half an hour is spent well, then that will help you to move forward. If you can get support, that's the very best way, because there's somebody else in your corner helping you, guiding you, being sympathetic and empathetic. And that's all very helpful when trying to rebuild confidence. If you've just missed your target, then don't jump straight back in. In some cases, I will say to students, book another test as soon as you can, because I think something just went wrong in the exam. But if you're feeling anxious, then you probably shouldn't do that. You need to take some time off. So don't just launch into another exam, but say take a week off and forget about it and then come back to it later, because you'll be able to face it better and you'll be able to analyze it better. If you've taken this break, you don't need to get away from English altogether. You could listen to things, read things, watch movies, but don't choose anything IELTS related. So it will help you to keep in touch with English, and you'll still be building skills, but you won't be thinking about the exam. And then once you've got used to that again, then you can start the IELTS stuff. So it may be that you should just do some general English first and just do a bit at a time. One reading passage, not a whole test. Or look at some writing models or collect some ideas about the writing. Don't sit and write, just do the work around it. And try and find out what's causing the problem. Is it what was the thing that made you nervous? Was it reading? Was it writing? Was it speaking? And then within that part, what was it that you were worried about? Was it a particular question type? Was it part 2 in speaking? Was it MCQ in listening? Are you okay with task 2 but not task 1? Try and be a little bit forensic about it. Then look at your previous practice. Which were the tests where you got a high score? Or which was the work where you got a high score? Collect all those together, because that's what you want to do. You want to follow through on the things that were good and reject the things that were not so good. So these become your benchmark. Look at guidelines. You know, if you're having a problem with multiple choice questions, go and find out how to do multiple choice. Not just more multiple choice badly, but find out what's going wrong, why you're not doing it well. Learn some techniques, look in a course book, follow a video online, how to do this. And then repeat this process for any area which causes a problem. The thing about doing these practical things is it starts to take you away from the fear, because you're actually in action, you're doing actions. And by doing these actions, 2 things are going to happen. The first is you get some focus, and therefore you will not be panicking anymore. You're doing something which is not IELTS per se, but it is helpful for IELTS. And the second thing is that by doing these things, you are definitely going to improve your performance. And if your scores start to go up, then so will your confidence. So if you're feeling panicked about the exam, try and do some parallel things to exam practice. So the things I've mentioned here, which are useful, practical, and will help you to improve your scores in any case. Okay, so I hope you're not feeling panicky, but if you are, I hope some of these suggestions will work and you'll soon regain your confidence. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.